up, you guys? King Lagerfeld here, back with another video reaction. And today we're going to be doing a video by Casual Geographic. This is 5 more horrible ways that animals can end you. Now, I'm pretty sure there's more than 5 ways. I mean, you have tigers, you have lions, you have cheetahs, you have panthers, you've got all types of animals, snakes that can end you within seconds. I mean, so I'm pretty sure there's more than 5 ways. So yeah, but I guess these are 5 of the worst ways that animals can end you. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what Casual Geographic has to say about these 5 ways. Very educational channel, very smart guy. So let's go ahead and see what information he provides in this video. Let's go ahead and get into it and see what he has to say. Let's go ahead. Is that a cheetah swimming? That looks so odd.
Yep, because obviously one part just wasn't enough. I'm gonna make this real quick because I want to get right to the trauma. Earlier we talked about 10 of the worst ways animals can put a 404 on your birth certificate. That video is gonna be in the description in case you want to get caught up. But there were some pretty notable animals missing from the video, and half of that was on purpose so I'd have enough ammo for a part 2. The other half was honestly just me forgetting. So here's 5 more terrifying ways nature can put you under a headstone, and once again, viewer discretion is very much advised. And it's especially advised for one of the animals on here. You'll know it when you see it. All that out the way, let's get to the content.
Is that a cheetah or a leopard?
It's no secret that having an Australian area code really means agreeing to live life on veteran difficulty.
Oh my goodness.
And it's not just that everything with a heartbeat down there.
I mean, it seems like everything in Australia is dangerous. I mean, they have like big spiders, they have the big lizards, the monitors, the Komodo dragons, big tarantulas. I mean, so I totally agree. Australia has some of the most dangerous animals, the weirdest animals, the biggest animals. I don't know how people live down there. I guess like in the outback or something, but ooh. Yeah, I just wouldn't even want to try it. So I agree with that one.
Power to cancel yours. It's the way they can do it. Get too close to a cassowary and you run the risk of getting violently disemboweled.
Oh my goodness.
Play with a platypus and you might just find out that Perry's armed with an incapacitating venom more powerful than morphine. The blue ring octopus was actually one of the animals in a previous video because not only is it one of the most venomous things in the ocean, it's also small enough for you not to feel its toxic bite.
Jeez.
Which is why out of all the nonsense in the land down under, this tiny octopus is what you should be the second most afraid of. The reason it's second is because this thing still exists. The Australian box jellyfish is the most venomous thing in the ocean, which obviously makes it one of the most venomous things in nature. They're armed with a crippling toxin potent enough to turn you into a statistic in as little as 2 minutes. And that's because its venom is a neurotoxin that attacks ion channels in muscles, causing them to contract but not release. When those muscles happen to be in the heart, that's what can cause victims to go into cardiac arrest. There have been cautionary tales of people being stung by box jellies while swimming and not even having enough time to make it to shore. The reason the box jellyfish is so disrespectful with its venom is because it's specifically designed to incapacitate its struggling prey before they have a chance to snap its tentacles. I call them the biggest middle finger to Australia because they're the polar opposite of blue rings. The blue ring's deadly bite may be painless, but those rings it's named after are designed to warn you before you even have a chance to get that close. Which means the only way this octopus can be a threat is if you're crazy enough or dumb enough to hold one. Box jellyfish give 0 warning. They're virtually impossible to notice until you feel the immobilizing agony that comes with the sting. If you accidentally brush up against those tentacles, thousands of sting cells blast microscopic harpoons into your skin, which is how the venom gets to you.
Wait a minute, so if you pick one up or you step on one, it releases thousands of what does it say, pins inside of you to release the poison. See, this is, I mean, I love the ocean, especially growing up in Florida, but like, I'm starting to think it's not worth it. Cause I mean, there are so many dangerous things in the ocean that's like so like life-threatening. It's ridiculous. I mean, maybe we should just stay in pools. I mean, because clearly the ocean isn't it. So I mean, this is dangerous, but I mean it's good information because at least we're learning about the dangerous things, right? So, but I mean, I love the ocean. So this is hard to hear. This is really hard for me to hear.
I've said getting stung feels a lot like getting branded with a hot iron, which makes sense, because that's exactly what the scars look like.
Oh my goodness!
Even if you survive, it can still give you the world's most painful tattoo, and if you're really unlucky, a nasty case of necrosis. And if that wasn't horrific enough, one species managed to take it a step further. The Irukandji jellyfish is roughly the size of a penny, yet it's somehow the most intimidating animal Australia has to offer. Its venom has been said to be 100 times worse than a cobra's and 1,000 times more toxic than a tarantula's.
Are you
and because
kidding
its venom
me?
is also a neurotoxin,
What?
symptoms can include crippling pain, vomiting, severe muscle cramps, escalating all the way to brain hemorrhaging, heart failure, and eventually a flatline.
What the heck?
This tiny jellyfish can essentially destroy you from the inside. Its skin can also put you in a comatose state, almost indistinguishable from death. It basically turns you into the living dead.
This is terrible. I mean, why does one animal have this much poison, this much toxic stuff inside of it? Like, why? Why is it designed that way? For what? I mean, I guess for survival in its own environment. But I mean, why do humans who just want to enjoy their time in the ocean, why do we have to deal with that? I mean, 10 times as much as or 100 times as much as a cobra's venom. I mean, for what? I mean, why is it like that? That's just too much for me, but oh my god.
I'm not saying this homicidal sperm cell can cause a zombie apocalypse, but I am saying you do want to be ready. Which is why State of Survival lets you see how you do in a full-scale I Am Legend type zombie apocalypse. It's free to play and available on both Apple and Google App Stores.
God.
And for a limited time, anyone that's able to upgrade to a level 6 unlocks the Joker
sponsorship.
Yeah, that
sponsorship.
This feature lets you fight against this army of laughing zombies in the arena.
I mean, go ahead, Casual Geographic.
In terms of just gameplay, there's multiple game modes like PvP and PvE. I prefer PvP, but only because I can't be truly satisfied winning unless I'm actively screwing someone else over. There's also the Explorer Trail option that lets you venture out into unknown areas and commit genocides on waves of zombies. And you're the good guy here, so it's justified. Download State of Survival using the link in the description and use the code CasualGeoSOS to redeem an in-game starter pack that you don't want to miss. Downloading with the link also gives you a chance to earn several $50 Amazon gift cards, which to me isn't a bad deal. But what is a bad deal is if you manage to come into contact with this jellyfish. Because one of the symptoms of Irukandji syndrome is an overwhelming feeling of doom. Some victims will reportedly be so sure they were going to die that they would beg the doctors to put them out of their misery permanently. And that's because the venom can cause a release of catecholamine, one of the things responsible for your flight or fight response, which makes this jellyfish one of the few animals that can bend you over psychologically as well as physically. Basically, it puts the fear of God in you to the point where you want to go meet him. That being said, with immediate medical attention, your chances of getting put on the news by a box jelly are surprisingly low. Doesn't change the fact that an estimated 50 to 100 people lose the lottery to this hellspawn each year. And because of the nature of the symptoms, that number could very well be higher and the deaths either go unreported or get falsely attributed to something else. The worst part is you will almost never see it coming.
Right, I was just about to say that. The thing that's most dangerous about the jellyfish is that they're like clear, like they blend in with the water. So you can't even really see a lot of them coming. I mean, that is so unfair. I mean, they're like camouflaged by the water, and then if you get stung by them, you get this unbearable pain as well. I'm really thinking about staying out of the ocean at this point, because, yeah.
Unlike the next animal.
Is that a cheetah?
A few comments from the previous video questioned why I left big cats off the list, and honestly the answer is pretty simple. Cats are nature's perfect little killing machines, but because they're not pack hunters like hyenas or wild dogs, they have to put their prey out of commission before they eat it. This minimizes the risk of injury and allows them to carry their prize to a much more secluded spot, which means most big cats will mercy murk their prey with a quick but critical bite to the windpipe. But of course, there has to be an exception to every rule. Roll the clip.
Oh, jeez.
Jaguars are the only big cats that put their prey out of commission with a crushing bite directly through the skull. Jaguars are basically the bull sharks of cats. They're not the biggest or the most notorious, but pound for pound they're the strongest with the most devastating bite. A jaguar's max bite force has been estimated to be in a range from 13 to 1,500 pounds per square inch. That mouthpiece is not only strong enough to evict a turtle from its shell, but it produces enough force to puncture the skull and even pierce the brain. This method is enough to one-shot virtually anything.
Can you imagine being bit through the skull by a cat? Oh, jeez. I mean, I mean, I can't even imagine how that would feel. I mean, I might not even be alive long enough to even know what that would feel like, because I'm pretty sure that would like make you unconscious in like a few seconds. But Jesus, oh my goodness, that's
in its area
painful.
From capybara to caiman, and they've even been known to rip the cranial cap off of animals as tanky as the tapir, which can weigh over 800 pounds. Jaguars are ambush hunters that catch bodies by disabling their prey before they even have a chance to react, which is why a full-grown caiman with a brain the size of a walnut has virtually no shot against a motivated vice grip with whiskers. And since jaguars primarily puncture the temporal bones of the skull, they essentially punch holes in your head by biting between the ears. And because jaguars are as comfortable catching life sentences in water as they are on land, they're South America's all-terrain assault weapons.
This is
insane. If a jaguar wants your name off the census, you're not even a person, you're a walking corpse at that point. But spoiler alert, jaguars don't even have the worst bite on this list. This snake is naturally shy, non-aggressive, and would much rather slither away from confrontation. It's when it feels cornered that the bum sling shows you why it's one of the most venomous snakes to ever live. This sub-Saharan serpent is armed with hemotoxin-riddled venom, which contains anticoagulants that limits the body's ability to form blood clots. Which is how this introvert of a snake can cause fatal hemorrhaging in tissues in muscles and the brain, causing you to bleed into an abyss.
Wait, what did I just see? What did I just see? Did this guy just voluntarily let this snake bite him? Like, for what? To see what it was like to get bitten by one of these? What is wrong with some people? Seriously, why would you let it bite you on purpose, knowing that it has an anticoagulant, which keeps your blood from clotting, which means you're gonna bleed out? I'm not even gonna say what I wanted to say, because I mean, clearly you can see the person that let the snake do that isn't, yeah, so weird.
If left untreated, the bite from a bum sling can cause you to bleed from virtually every orifice, including the eyes, nose, gums, and even the anus.
Ew.
Internal and external bleeding aside, there's two main reasons why this snake is a cell block D-level menace. Number one is the lethal dose of the venom itself. It's been said that the amount of bum sling venom needed to introduce you to your ancestors is one of the lowest of any snake. Number two is because of the very nature of snakes. Venom is physiologically expensive to make, so snakes will often deliver dry bites when they don't want to inject venom. It's how they get their point across without wasting precious venom on a non-life-threatening situation. You're probably wondering how not releasing venom is a bad thing, and here's where nature shows you how much of a female dog she really is. Bum sling venom is slow-acting, and it can take the victim several hours to feel the effects. This can cause victims to falsely assume the bite was dry and then not seek medical attention as urgently as they should. By the time you're bleeding out of your ass and eyes, you're already on the wait list to the cookout in the clouds. And without anti-venom, a complete blood transfusion could be the only thing keeping you from a box in the ground. In 1957, herpetologist Carl Smith was bitten by a young juvenile bum sling, but he didn't immediately seek medical attention because he assumed the baby snake couldn't produce the lethal dose. You could probably guess how that movie ended. Instead of getting to a hospital, Dr. Schmidt recorded all of his symptoms after being envenomated. All of them, except for the last one. That day, Dr. Schmidt became past tense, likely at the hands of internal excessive bleeding, all because of one mistake. Had he been rushed to a hospital and received anti-venom, he might have lived long enough to learn his lesson. Lucky for us, the bum sling is timid and afraid of people, and for all its toxicity, it has a surprisingly low body count, believed to be only responsible for less than 10 deaths. Unlike the next animal, which has a body count not in the hundreds, not thousands,
millions?
But likely in the millions.
The cheetah again?
If I made a poll asking what the most dangerous animals in Africa are, some answers might include hyenas, the always homicidal hippopotamus, of course you can't forget the lion, and heavyweights like the African elephant, rhinoceros, and cave buffalo might also make an appearance. And if you're an intellectual, you might say the mosquito since they co-author more death certificates than any other animal. But we know how much of a menace mosquitoes are. Most people don't think the same of this fly, and that's exactly.
Elephants are an underrated savage. Elephants are so underrated. People think they're slow, but they're big and powerful. Get them mad and you will see. I don't know from experience, but I've seen enough videos. Stay away from elephants.
Exactly why they're here. The tsetse fly is one of the most murderous things alive, believed to have a human hit rate of, at the minimum, 10,000 bodies a year. It's a parasite that feeds on the blood of others, and like the mosquito, that makes it the perfect vector for a handful of nasty diseases. The nightmare starts when an infected tsetse fly passes on the parasite trypanosoma to an unknowing human. Once that parasite turns your body into an Airbnb, it shuts you down from the inside. Being the landlord to this parasite can mean heart problems, kidney failure, anemia, and if you're pregnant, you might just get a visit from that young lady, Miss Carrie. But the most disturbing part is that it's now the second animal on this list that can do damage to your mental. This disease deteriorates your body to the point where just opening your eyes or feeding yourself can leave you exhausted. It doesn't help that one of the neurological symptoms is that it completely wrecks your sleeping schedule, causing insomnia at night and borderline narcolepsy during the day. That fun little fact is exactly how this disease got its name, African sleeping sickness. And that's not the only symptom either. Victims can experience drastic shifts in personality, usually resulting in uncontrollable episodes of aggression. This fly factory resets your personality, and the infected can become such a danger to themselves and others that there have been instances of victims being tied to poles where they can't hurt anybody. It's a debilitating disease, and one that slowly breaks you down until you eventually slip into a coma and never wake up. The only good thing is that statistically, the chances of becoming a hashtag after being bit are incredibly low, since the tsetse fly has to already be infected. But my mother would have raised a liar if I said that about the bite of the last animal on this list.
Number 1. I wonder what it is.
There might not be a worse death sentence in nature than the one hiding in this picture. And that's because crocodiles have spent the last 200 million years perfecting the art of canceling life subscriptions. With the highest recorded bite force of 3,700 pounds per square inch, getting assaulted by a croc is like getting hit with a sledgehammer with teeth with enough power to tear flesh and crack bone. Not even the murderous hippo can match that force. The crocodile's hunting strategy involves sneaking up to its victim underwater while completely undetected, which they can do because nature put their eyes on the top of its head, giving them a disrespectful stealth factor. Those are all eyes, and they're all looking at you. Once they're close enough, they slam about 60 razor-sharp cones for teeth into their prey and then drag them into the water where they have a home court advantage. Especially since a crocodile can hold its breath for over an hour. And as if death by reverse baptism wasn't enough, crocodiles have possibly the most unforgiving finishing move of any animal. The crocodile's death roll is designed to rip their struggling prey apart into easier to swallow chunks of flesh. I'm not gonna let you see what just happened to that zebra, just know its neck is now non-existent. And with jaws like a snare trap, surviving a fate with a prehistoric homicide gecko usually involves negotiating an arm or a leg. The crocodile's hunting method is so successful that they've been around for hundreds of millions of years and barely had to change their playbook. But the most haunting thing about them is that they believe in the worst type of equality. Jaguars don't see humans as prey, and they're just as likely to run away from an encounter. For all its venom, the bumsling's first choice is always pacifism. For a crocodile, anything that makes enough of a disturbance in its waters can get put on a list. And out of all crocodilians, it's the Nile and saltwater crocodiles that have been known to attack humans with enough regularity to be classified as man-eaters. And because splashing only excites them, a good number of victims are small children that unintentionally play in its dining room. Crocodiles pack up
It's not the small children. Are you serious? See, now that makes you a villain. And I remember a few years ago, there was a kid at Disney World that was playing by a lake, and I guess at one of the Disney resorts. And yeah, the alligator or crocodile, I think it was an alligator because it was Florida, but yeah, let's just say that that child wasn't heard from again. I mean, I understand that it's nature, but I mean, I just wish that animals had, you know, a regard for kids. Because I mean, just keep the kids off limits. But then again, that's my human brain trying to say that. So, I mean, animals have no regard because they're just doing what they know by nature. So, yeah, but it's still sad though, as a human thinking with the human brain. But yeah, it's the circle of life, right?
About 1,000 people a year, and as we continue to encroach on their space, that number is only going to get higher. And that's going to do it for this video. Honestly, if this video doesn't get demonetized, I'd be more shocked than Pikachu, so my Patreon's going to be in the description. Being a patron earns you access to videos before I post them, along with exclusive content you might not find anywhere else. I'm still talking about animals here, it's not that kind of exclusive. But again, it's totally fine if you're not in a position to give money. It's not fine if you don't subscribe though, don't think that's okay. Hit that sub button or I'll auction your body to the highest bidding crocodile. I have the means, the resources, and the lack of morality to make it happen. To make up for that blatant threat on your way of life, here's beaver serotonin.
What is he making a salad? mean, that was cute, but I mean, overall, the video was very depressing. I mean, there are so many animals that you should just never approach. They're just, you know, very dangerous. And so just be careful, you know, if you like to go on adventures or, you know, be around animals, just be careful about what animals you're around. Yeah, because this list was horrific. I mean, the crocodiles, the mosquitoes, and that's like the mosquitoes, the jellyfish, you know, all the other animals. But anyway, guys, yeah, there's just so much to be scared of within the animal kingdom. But yeah, just, you know, stay as far away as you can from the dangerous ones, and just, you know, experience and love the ones that you can be around. Yeah, animals are very fascinating, but just use discretion when you're around them. Just, you know, it's okay to just look. You don't have to be up close on them, or, you know, because they're just going to operate on what they know. So it doesn't matter if you're a little kid, if you have kids, if you're a mom, if you're a dad, if you're a young person, if you're a girl or a boy. Animals, if they see something that they think is threatening, they're just going to attack. And just learn the lesson from that. You know, just be careful. If you love animals, just be careful about being around them, because they don't have the same brains as us. They don't have regard for, you know, human life. Or, I mean, some animals do, but not the ones on this list. I mean, we can obviously see that. But anyway, guys, interesting video by Casual Geographic. And if you want to learn more, make sure you guys subscribe to his Patreon, because I'm pretty sure there's more information on there as well. But anyway, you guys, let me know what you thought about this Casual Geographic video down in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, be blessed, be your best, and keep down the stress. And stay away from those animals. Please do. I want you guys to be alive. Bye, guys.